guy who died recently. His name is Ted Kotcheff, and he was a director, and he directed. Remember the movie First Blood?
Yeah.
Remember the first Rambo movie?
Yeah, right.
He directed that movie. He directed a bunch of other movies too, but and then he directed Uncommon Valor. Do you remember Uncommon Valor?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember, like, as a kid, we rented Uncommon Valor, and I watched it because we didn't have cable. We just had a VCR, and we guys were like, I'm gonna cancel the cable so we don't watch so much TV. And then I ended up watching Uncommon Valor like 4 or 5 times.
You had to go re-rent the tape, would you?
Yeah, and like also like I remember people used to do that, like at Jim Morris's house. I don't think they could even get cable, and so like. Because they were out in the country, so you'd like rent like 3 movies, and then they put the same movie in over and over again. Because you'd end up watching like The Principal with Jim Belushi, like 3 or 4 times. And it's like there's some other movie we watched like that too. I remember, but yeah, that was so First Blood. I would argue First Blood, the first Rambo movie. It's not my favorite movie really, but. I love Uncommon Valor, but First Blood, I would argue, is like the very first of what they called the 80s action movie. Which like I would say the 80s action movie starts from First Blood, and it ends at about Die Hard 3 or Lethal Weapon 4 in the 90s. Like after that they stopped making them. They basically like took them away. I think honestly like. They were like, oh, these are too popular or very populist or something, And they were like, we're not going to let people have these anymore. And when it was partially like because the politicians were all complaining about violence in movies, So they kind of. But then again, like the movies still like were violent, but they just like it was like those movies. They were like, no, they didn't want the They weren't going to have let Bruce Willis shove an icicle into some guy's eye socket, or something. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that first time
but it's okay. What?
we were over at Paducah.
Yeah, Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, Last Boy Scout. Was that was
and that was Mom and Grandma were shopping, and yeah, we went to see that.
But today
that was good because you guys went to. We were like when we got out, you guys were pretty much done. You had done a lot of your shopping.
Well, that theater wasn't about big as this room here.
Yeah, it's terrible theater. It was like I think we went in there. And we're like, is that a closet? And then I opened it up, and it was like, oh, this is a movie theater in here. Yeah.
Of course, they built a new one over there.
But they had like 14 screens, so that's what they advertised. Had a lot of screens.
Yeah, and it's like I don't get like what's the big. Better that they should have 3 and kind of nice theaters, screens but Uncommon Valor. I remember that one because I always liked. I watched that a lot actually, and I remember. I guess I liked Men on a Mission movies, because there was another one called Wild Geese. Do you remember Wild Geese? Where they were like these British, I don't know, whatever they are. They were.
Oh yeah, I know.
They were wearing like red berets and camo, and they went over,
yeah.
and they went to like some African, African country, and to like rescue a guy.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to rent that all the time. I liked it because it had Roger Moore in it, who was like
that's what
James
I was
Bond.
trying to think of the name of the guy that had been on that.
Yeah.
Roger Moore. Yeah. And then he turned in that career for being 007.
Right. In Uncommon Valor, there's a scene. You don't remember Randall Tex Cobb?
Yeah, I sure do.
Well, he has a grenade around his neck.
Yeah.
And at the very end, he ends up getting shot, and he like pulls the pin and like jumps into a thing of guys, and it blows up. So it's pretty awesome. It's like, but yeah.
Well,